The true price of greed reveals itself when the blind pursuit of desire eclipses sound judgment and ethical principles are compromised. When individuals or collectives prioritize their own gain without exercising empathy or fairness, it leads to a decay of moral values, affecting not just the perpetrators, but entire communities. The ultimate cost of wealth gained through force or illicit means is immeasurable, encompassing not only the loss of life and livelihood, but also the degradation of the very fabric of society. In the depths of Africa, one can find a profound example of this price, where a dark chapter in history was not just written, but etched with suffering and bloodshed. This story, filled with unimaginable cruelty and immense consequences, is not one that resides solely in the past. Its effects ripple across time, continuing to impact generations. The exploitation, the pillaging of resources, and the disregard for human dignity left scars that have yet to heal. This narrative, frequently overlooked or deliberately ignored, serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of unchecked greed and the importance of recognizing and learning from such stories to avoid repeating the same mistakes. Understanding the depth of this tragedy illuminates the cost of immoral acquisition of wealth and the enduring impact it can have on humanity. Our story, and it absolutely must be told, is the story of Africa, a vast continent rich with unmatched brilliance, resilience, and heritage. This is a place where the richness of culture, the depth of history, and the diversity of traditions have contributed vastly to the world. It's a land where the ingenuity of its people has thrived despite a challenging history. Despite these remarkable qualities, the people of Africa have endured some of the most horrific atrocities ever witnessed in human history. Among these are the transatlantic slave trade, which forcibly removed millions from their homeland, plunging generations into unimaginable suffering. Colonialism, another dark chapter, exploited the continent's wealth and people, imposing foreign rule and often violently suppressing local cultures and traditions. These experiences have left deep scars, yet they have also showcased the extraordinary resilience of African communities. Whether confronting the brutalities of apartheid or navigating the challenges of neocolonialism, the people's endurance and spirit to persevere and reclaim their narrative is inspiring. Africa's story is one of incredible contrasts, its beauty and wealth juxtaposed with the severe challenges it has faced. It is a narrative of immense struggle, but also of triumph and hope. The strength drawn from the continent's rich heritage continues to fuel its people's drive toward a future where their voices are heard, their rights are respected, and their contributions are celebrated globally. This narrative reminds us that the remarkable story of Africa is not just about its past, but continues to be written every day as its people forge a path to a just and prosperous future. The term null is a concept commonly used in computer science and databases. It represents a lack of value or a non-existent reference. In programming languages, null is often used to signify that a variable doesn't currently hold any valid data. In databases, a field containing a null value indicates that the value is unknown, missing, or inapplicable. For example, in a table of users, if a user has not provided their phone number, the phone number field for that user might be set to null. In programming, developers must handle null values carefully to avoid errors. When a variable is null, trying to access its properties or methods can result in runtime errors, often referred to as null reference or null pointer errors. Therefore, checking for null values and appropriately handling them is a crucial part of robust software development. Shattered. This word encapsulates so much more than brokenness. It conveys a sense of profound destruction that goes beyond the physical. This horrific act, whatever it may have been, transcended the boundaries of individual suffering and became a monumental affront to the collective identity, history, and dignity of an entire continent. It was not merely a crime. It was a defilement, a profound violation against the spirit of Africa, an affront to its past, its resilience, and its dreams for the future. The Congo is not just any place. It's a land of immeasurable wealth and potential, blessed with rich soil, abundant in precious minerals, and home to ecosystems that teem with life. Its towering forests are not just a natural resource. They stand as sentinels of history, holding within them the memories and the potential of generations. The powerful rivers that crisscross this vast land are the veins of its existence, nourishing the earth and the people alike, supporting diverse cultures and life forms with their life-giving waters. To harm the Congo is to strike at the heart of Africa, wounding not just the land but the soul of a continent that has weathered so much. The act of violence or exploitation inflicted there shakes the very foundation of what Africa represents, a confluence of natural beauty, cultural richness, and an indomitable spirit of survival and hope. The term null is a concept commonly used in computer science and databases. It represents a lack of value or a non-existent reference. In programming languages, null is often used to signify that a variable doesn't currently hold any valid data. In databases, a field containing a null value indicates that the value is unknown, missing, or inapplicable. For example, in a table of users, if a user has not provided their phone number, the phone number field for that user might be set to null. In programming, developers must handle null values carefully to avoid errors. When a variable is null, trying to access its properties or methods can result in runtime errors, often referred to as null reference or null pointer errors. Therefore, checking for null values and appropriately handling them is a crucial part of robust software development. The term null is a concept commonly used in computer science and databases. It represents a lack of value or a non-existent reference. In programming languages, null is often used to signify that a variable doesn't currently hold any valid data. In databases, a field containing a null value indicates that the value is unknown, missing, or inapplicable. For example, in a table of users, if a user has not provided their phone number, the phone number field for that user might be set to null. In programming, developers must handle null values carefully to avoid errors. When a variable is null, trying to access its properties or methods can result in runtime errors, often referred to as null reference or null pointer errors. Therefore, checking for null values and appropriately handling them is a crucial part of robust software development. The term null is a concept commonly used in computer science and databases. It represents a lack of value or a non-existent reference. In programming languages, null is often used to signify that a variable doesn't currently hold any valid data. In databases, a field containing a null value indicates that the value is unknown, missing, or inapplicable. For example, in a table of users, if a user has not provided their phone number, the phone number field for that user might be set to null. In programming, developers must handle null values carefully to avoid errors. When a variable is null, trying to access its properties or methods can result in runtime errors, often referred to as null reference or null pointer errors. Therefore, checking for null values and appropriately handling them is a crucial part of robust software development. Europe's elites, particularly during the height of colonialism, enjoyed lives of luxury and ease, which stood in stark contrast to the brutal realities faced by those from whom they extracted their wealth. These elites dined at tables laden with the finest foods and adorned with opulent decorations, symbolizing the vast riches siphoned from African lands. These riches, whether in the form of natural resources like gold, diamonds, and ivory, or human labor, were brutally extracted, often without consent and with devastating consequences. The wealth accumulated by Europe's ruling classes came at a great human cost. The slave trade, colonial exploitation, and the violent imposition of foreign rule, not just on the continent's landscapes, but on the very fabric of its societies. The so-called civilization that Europe claimed to spread was accompanied by violence, cultural eradication, and economic policies that left African nations impoverished and dependent. What Europe hailed as empire and progress was, upon closer inspection, a brutal regime of exploitation and dehumanization. The grandeur of European cities and the monumental advancements they often boasted were in reality built on the backs of oppressed peoples and the plunder of distant lands. Despite these historical injustices, Africa's spirit and resilience have remained unbroken. The continent, rich in culture, history, and potential, continues to strive for a future free from the shadows of its past. Its people have shown remarkable strength in the face of adversity and have never surrendered their dignity or hope. The narrative of Africa is not one of defeat, but of ongoing resilience and the relentless pursuit of justice and self-determination. The Civilization Project operated as a vast framework, meticulously constructed to enforce a rigid social hierarchy, aimed predominantly at the systemic subjugation and exploitation of marginalized communities for economic benefit and power consolidation. This system was rooted in colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade, inflicting profound suffering on those caught in the web of forced labor and racial discrimination. Individuals who endeavored to dismantle this oppressive system were often allies, not enslaved individuals themselves. Despite not being of African descent, these allies made a conscious choice to stand in solidarity with those suffering under the yoke of oppression. They vigorously advocated for justice and equality, using their voices and platforms to draw attention to the inhumanities and injustices that Europe attempted to ignore or deny. Their actions helped to shed light on the grim realities of the enslaved and to challenge the pervasive narratives that sought to justify such a system. Despite the many obstacles that included harsh reprisals, significant risks, and societal indifference, these allies, alongside the oppressed, engaged in a collective struggle that was characterized by acts of resistance and defiance. These acts were not only forms of direct opposition to the system, but also profound demonstrations of human dignity and the yearning for freedom. Through their bold and courageous efforts, the momentum for emancipation and the eventual downfall of such an oppressive system was ignited, showcasing the power and necessity of solidarity in the fight for human rights and justice. The term null is a concept commonly used in computer science and databases. It represents a lack of value or a non-existent reference. In programming languages, null is often used to signify that a variable doesn't currently hold any valid data. In databases, a field containing a null value indicates that the value is unknown, missing, or inapplicable. For example, in a table of users, if a user has not provided their phone number, the phone number field for that user might be set to null. In programming, developers must handle null values carefully to avoid errors. When a variable is null, trying to access its properties or methods can result in runtime errors, often referred to as null reference or null pointer errors. Therefore, checking for null values and appropriately handling them is a crucial part of robust software development. Their spirit of defiance continues to live on, representing both a remembrance of past injustice and a beacon of enduring hope. This unyielding spirit stands as a powerful testament to the unbreakable resilience and enduring strength of the African soul, which has withstood centuries of oppression and exploitation. For generations, colonial powers attempted to suppress the truth, employing tactics to erase or distort historical facts. These efforts aim to mask the horrors of colonial exploitation, such as forced labor, violence, and the pillaging of resources, particularly in regions like the Congo under King Leopold II's reign. However, lies and deceptions could not stand the test of time. By the early 20th century, the undeniable reality of King Leopold's heinous crimes in the Congo Free State was brought to light. Reports and accounts from missionaries, journalists, and activists began to circulate globally, exposing the brutal exploitation and human rights abuses that occurred under Leopold's regime. Activists like E.D. Morrill and Roger Casmond played crucial roles in unveiling the truth, leading to international condemnation and ultimately pressuring Leopold to relinquish control of the Congo. Thus, the shroud of lies was lifted and the world's conscience was stirred, marking a pivotal moment in the fight against colonial abuse and exploitation. The term null is a concept commonly used in computer science and databases. It represents a lack of value or a non-existent reference. In programming languages, null is often used to signify that a variable doesn't currently hold any valid data. In databases, a field containing a null value indicates that the value is unknown, missing, or inapplicable. For example, in a table of users, if a user has not provided their phone number, the phone number field for that user might be set to null. In programming, developers must handle null values carefully to avoid errors. When a variable is null, trying to access its properties or methods can result in runtime errors, often referred to as null reference or null pointer errors. Therefore, checking for null values and appropriately handling them is a crucial part of robust software development. The term null is a concept commonly used in computer science and databases. It represents a lack of value or a non-existent reference. In programming languages, null is often used to signify that a variable doesn't currently hold any valid data. In databases, a field containing a null value indicates that the value is unknown, missing, or inapplicable. For example, in a table of users, if a user has not provided their phone number, the phone number field for that user might be set to null. In programming, developers must handle null values carefully to avoid errors. When a variable is null, trying to access its properties or methods can result in runtime errors, often referred to as null reference or null pointer errors. Therefore, checking for null values and appropriately handling them is a crucial part of robust software development. The statement brings to light the enduring and often overlooked impact of colonialism, which has left deep scars on nations like the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The legacy of colonial exploitation is manifested in a number of forms, particularly in how the natural resources of the Congo are exploited. Despite the country's immense wealth in minerals, such as cobalt, diamonds, and gold. These riches have not translated into prosperity for its people. Instead, the wealth is extracted by multinational corporations and foreign entities, often with little regard for the well-being of local communities. This dynamic perpetuates a cycle of poverty and inequality, where the Congolese people are denied the benefits of their own land's resources. Furthermore, the structures and systems established during the colonial era continue to influence the socio-economic landscape of the Congo. These structures have often led to political instability, corruption, and conflict, which further hinder development and perpetuate suffering. The call to action is clear. It is imperative for individuals, governments, and corporations alike to acknowledge this ongoing exploitation and work towards ensuring that the Congolese people can exercise sovereignty over their resources. This would pave the way for a fairer distribution of wealth, fostering development and improving the quality of life for the delving into the rich tapestry of global dynamics. The historical narrative of the Congo is profoundly intertwined with the machinations of international forces. These influences, spanning colonial exploitation to modern economic interests, have deeply impacted the Congo's landscape and its people. The region has been a target for its abundant natural resources, drawing the attention and intervention of powerful nations and corporations. However, the Congo's history is not merely a tale of subjugation. It stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of its people. The Congolese have continually fought to preserve their identity, assert their autonomy, and resist oppressive forces. This narrative of resistance is a crucial part of their story, demonstrating a profound resilience in the face of adversity. For Pan-Africans, this history calls for a concerted effort to reclaim and honor the Congo's contributions to their shared struggle for justice, sovereignty, and dignity. The Congo's story is fundamental in understanding the broader narrative of African resilience and empowerment, urging recognition and celebration of its pivotal role in shaping the continent's destiny. The tales of our past, when viewed not simply as narratives of suffering and victimhood, transform into compelling testaments to the remarkable strength and resilience that characterize our collective humanity. This perspective urges us to recognize and honor the memories of those who endured unimaginable hardships, the countless individuals who faced persecution and lost their lives, and the myriad brave souls who stood defiantly against oppression, often in the face of overwhelming odds. In remembering and paying tribute to these experiences, we're doing more than simply looking back. We are acknowledging a foundation upon which our shared history is constructed. This history is not just a series of events, it's a testament to the human spirit, demanding that we respect and acknowledge the courage, the resistance, and the sacrifices of those who came before us. This collective remembrance shapes our identity and guides our future. It's our story, a rich tapestry woven with threads of resilience, heroism, and unyielding hope. It's a legacy we must remember, honor, and carry forward with pride and determination, ensuring that the lessons of our past empower our present and enlighten our future. Indeed, when we speak of pain, struggle, and the relentless fight for dignity and recognition, it echoes deeply across generations. This struggle represents not only the immediate suffering, but also the enduring quest for equality and justice. While the story might be rooted in the experiences of the Congo, with its brutal history under King Leopold II's rule, where millions suffered exploitative atrocities, this narrative is emblematic of Africa's broader historical journey. The exploitation and colonization that Africa faced have left a legacy of economic and social challenges that continue to impact the continent. The call to action is not just to acknowledge these tragedies, but to let them inspire a fire within us, a fire that drives us to remember and honor the past. It is a call to educate others about these historical truths, ensuring that they are not forgotten or glossed over. Furthermore, it is about standing together in unity, demanding justice for the past and accountability for the ongoing consequences. Even though King Leopold II, the architect of these cruelties, has long since died, the impact of his actions still casts a long shadow. Thus, our resolve must be just as enduring, to confront and dismantle the legacies of exploitation and oppression, and to work tirelessly toward creating a world where such injustices are never repeated. But also the enduring spirit and remarkable resilience of its people who have faced centuries of colonization, exploitation, and systemic oppression. These systems have often been supported by a web of global economic interests, corrupt governance, and pervasive inequalities, which have robbed many African nations of their resources and potential. Wealth has been extracted, often leaving a landscape of poverty and diminished opportunities in its wake. The call to dismantle these entrenched structures is not just about addressing past injustices, it's about actively creating a present and future where equality, justice, and dignity are the cornerstones. This means pushing for systemic change, ensuring fair access to resources, and building a program embracing the full spectrum of African potential, cultural, intellectual, and economic. It's a collective effort requiring not just leaders, but every individual to contribute to a narrative of empowerment, one that recognizes past struggles but focuses on building a future that reflects the true potential of the continent. As Africa rises stronger and more determined than ever, it will do so not just on the global stage, but in the hearts and minds of its people, reclaiming its story and forging a path defined by its own vision. The suffering endured was marked by countless trials and tribulations, from the heels of colonialism to the shackles of oppression and the heart-wrenching pangs of displacement and exploitation. Yet within this tapestry of hardship, there emerged an incredible strength and resilience that is nothing short of awe-inspiring. The very fabric of communities was woven with threads of compassion and solidarity, as people came together to support one another despite the overwhelming odds. We pay tribute to the millions who faced unimaginable hardships, from enduring brutal regimes to withstanding the devastation of war and famine. In these trying times, countless voices rose up in defiance against oppression. They spoke out, marched, and fought back, often at great personal risk, to assert their dignity and demand justice. The indomitable spirits that steadfastly refused to be shattered or defeated are a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. Despite attempts to break their resolve, they held fast, drawing on deep wells of courage, hope, and unwavering determination. Indeed, this story is far more than just a narrative of pain and struggle. It stands as a powerful testament to the enduring spirit of Africa and its people, a legacy that is rich with courage, hope, and unwavering determination. It reminds us of the remarkable capacity for resilience and the power of the human spirit to overcome even the greatest adversities. This legacy continues to inspire and guide us, a beacon of hope for future generations. Your heritage is deeply rooted in a rich history, one that exemplifies unyielding resilience, a trait visible in the bloodline of African ancestors. For the children of Africa and those spread across the global diaspora, your legacy is a powerful gift, a symbol of extraordinary brilliance that has shone through centuries. It's more than just a history lesson. It's a narrative of unfaltering courage, where even in the darkest times, hope burned brightly. This legacy is a tapestry woven with threads of struggle and triumph, each one a testament to the strength inherent in your lineage. It's not a burden that weighs you down. Rather, it's a vault of inspiration, a powerful source from which you can draw strength and courage to propel you forward in life. It inspires you to face challenges head-on, to innovate, and to create a future that honors the past while blazing new trails of success. As we move forward, let us picture our journey not merely as individuals treading their own paths, but as collective participants in an ongoing narrative that spans generations. The flame we carry is not one that seeks to consume indiscriminately, but rather one that radiates warmth and guidance. It is the beacon that empowers us to push through the darkness of uncertainty and doubt, providing us with the strength to persevere. This fire symbolizes the rich heritage of perseverance passed down from those who walked before us. Our ancestors, diverse in their experiences and roles, were survivors who overcame immense hardships, warriors who fought valiantly for a better future, and visionaries who dared to dream beyond the limitations of their time. Every battle fought, every dream imagined, these were not in vain. They form the foundation upon which we stand. Today, we are the torchbearers, carrying forward their legacy with reverence and courage. We honor their memory by acknowledging the groundwork they laid and the stories they left us, stories that fuel our resolve. In the present, we find ourselves facing challenges unique to our time, yet these obstacles are but the continuation of the adversities faced by those who came before us. We are tasked with the responsibility of pushing through, of making our own mark on history. With a deep sense of gratitude, we recognize the importance of our role in maintaining the fire that lights the way, ensuring it remains a beacon of hope and progress for future generations. We will rise together, forging a path that leads to a future marked by unity and collective strength, emerging stronger and more resilient than ever before. Our shared journey is illuminated by the triumphs of our past and the endless possibilities of our future. To every African child and to every individual who forms a part of the vast and diverse African diaspora, know this with conviction. Your history did not begin with the chains of oppression or the struggles imposed upon your ancestors. Throughout the annals of time, the pages of history have been filled with stories of grand civilizations and mighty empires that once stood tall, inspiring countless generations across the globe. These empires built monumental structures, advanced knowledge in various fields, and cultivated rich cultures. They left behind a legacy of art, philosophy, governance, and innovation, serving as a foundation for much of today's world. Despite numerous attempts by conquerors and detractors to erase and suppress these profound legacies through war, colonization, or cultural assimilation, this rich history remains alive. It thrives within communities, traditions, languages, and the very DNA passed down through the generations. This vibrant history is not solely a record of past glories. It serves as a wellspring of strength and resilience for the present. Feeling this history within yourself means acknowledging the triumphs and the struggles, recognizing the accomplishments and injustices, and drawing inspiration from the resilience and wisdom of ancestors. As inheritors of this profound legacy, one carries within them an immense power and responsibility to honor and advance it. This moment in history, therefore, is not the conclusion of our story. Rather, it is a chapter that heralds the continuing and dynamic journey of an enduring spirit, one that faces each challenge with the accumulated strength of ages past and an unyielding hope for the future. It affirms that our collective narrative continues to unfold, shaped by the indomitable spirit passed down to us and the paths we courageously forge. This moment represents the dawn of a new era, brimming with opportunities and potential yet to be realized. As we stand on the threshold of this new chapter, we are filled with both hope and ambition. Stand tall. It is time for you to reclaim control over your narrative with renewed vigor and determination. Allow the enduring spirit and resilience of our ancestors to light your way forward. Let us come together, unified in our purpose and determination, to build a future that not only honors but also magnifies the incredible legacy and cultural richness of Africa. Your contribution is deeply valued, and I am truly grateful for the time you've chosen to share here with us. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Together, we will achieve greatness. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time learning alongside us. We know that your time is precious, and we're honored that you've chosen to invest it in expanding your knowledge with us. If you found something interesting or learned something new today, we would be truly grateful if you could show your appreciation in a few simple ways. First, liking this content helps us understand what resonates with you and motivates us to keep providing valuable information. Sharing it with your friends and community helps spread knowledge and can inspire others just as you have been inspired. Lastly, subscribing to our channel ensures you won't miss any updates, and turning on the notification bell means you'll be promptly notified whenever we share more inspiring, educational, and powerful stories. Your support is the foundation of our community, and we sincerely appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being part of this journey with us.